Hi, my name is Jacob Brigg, and I'm here with Augustus Williams Jr. And we're going to be talking about his upcoming book he just published. It's a collection of poems and short stories. So, hi, welcome.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. It's good to be here.
Yeah. So, can you just tell us a little bit of how you got into writing and what sort of prompted you to write short stories and poems?
Oh, that goes way back. See, I'm 56 years old, and we're going back to a time when a period when I was in high school, and we used to do little jokes. We used to write little poems and submit them to girls secretly, stick them in their locker. Uh, when they out at class, put it between their books and everything. We used to watch their reactions. And one of my guys, I'm not gonna say his name, said, "Can you write a poem for me? It's for Susie." And I said, "Sure." And that what led it. And the reaction was positive, and the word got around. So I started, writing all kind of love letters for different people. And one thing led to another, which led to another, which led to, an oratorio contest and other recitals in little schools and churches. And that's basically where it began, from a little child's game.
That's pretty impressive. And so, then what style of poems do you find you write a lot of? Do you find you still write a lot of love letter style poems, or have you
I,
sort of branched off from that?
I branched off from love to, I guess, human interest, mostly history, mostly black history, we call them black. And I love the contribution of my people, what they did to help this country. Not only black history, but all history, Spanish history, women history, there's Italian history, there's Asian history, there's fantastic. Asians came to America from the other side. Be surprised, I mean, Columbus was one in several people that have found America. I wouldn't say discovered because people was already here, but to his side, there was no one there. Yes, to the Spain and the rest of the Europe, he discovered this place, but it was already here with other people. The Vikings came. I read that the Africans came right before the Vikings, and before the Indians walk over, the Asians came. The Kenters came. You can just read down the line how many people that stopped by. Who knows? Maybe E.T. came. Who knows? But the part about history, I love history because to relive the past. So a lot of my poetry started from history, and then some to honor people. Maybe like you, I might write a poem about you tomorrow of our interview, and it just goes into my collection of 3,800 pieces of work.
Wow, that's impressive. And of those 3,800 pieces, do you find you have a favorite that just really sticks out? That's like, I'm really proud of this work.
There's one that's my signature poem. It's called "My Life Was His Dream," and it's a poem based on the assassination of Dr. King through the eyes of a young child. When all of it happens, he asks his mother, "What's going on? Who is this man named Dr. King?" And at the time, the mother couldn't really answer. So you know what mothers do, just be quiet. He was a great man. He had a dream. He had a dream. So then later on, he growing up, he learns, and he sits down with his mother again, and she tells him all about the story. And he realized what King was fighting for and dreaming for was his lifestyle that he, took for granted. Like going up into a store, you know, purchasing stuff, going into a restaurant, drinking out of the simple fact of drinking out of a water fountain. When he rides the bus, he could sit anywhere on the bus. So the poem was entitled "My Life Was His Dream."
That's great. And is that poem in your in your book
They
collaboration
held
thing
it
written?
back
Oh,
because they want to do a series. See, when my editors decided to do the book, they wanted to do it in a series of different books that 18 months prior, and they held it back to the tease for the grand. They have the grand opening and the
yeah.
appetizer, and they want to slam the grand, because the poem had "My Life Was a Dream" has circled the world. It's in the home of congressmen all over the world, in the homes of Prince, the Prince of Bangkok, Prince of Saudi Arabia. Uh, it done went to the White House as well.
That's
Uh,
impressive.
the London King family had great the had wrote the greatest autograph they have ever seen. It's actually a page long of what she expressed by reading the poem, and me and her got kind of close until her tragedy that, you know, I heard that her death on the radio. But Damon Williams, Jamie Foxx, you could name any stars. Guess the last they talking about my dad, uh, that has the poem in their home. So and it also in several institutions like Grambling, Air Force Academy, and this document's proven, and also the Center for Nonviolence in Atlanta. So they call that my signature poem, called over the period of 40 years. That's what people identify me with that poem, reciting that poem in different events around the country.
That is pretty incredible. But moving on to the topic of your book, so can you just tell us a little bit about like your inspiration for writing it, all the short stories and poems?
First, it's just you become a storyteller. You know, I think everybody is a poet or storyteller himself, and then sometimes it jump out to you. And a love of history is a preserver. You can preserve things by writing. That's how we learn about the history of the Bible. You know, the Iliad, all of them. Spartan, the great battle. You know, Helen, she launched 1,000 ships. Wasn't for writing, we would have no connection with the past. You know, besides storytelling. You know, but sometimes the storytellers die or they go on. Like now, all the storytellers in Africa are, you know, dying out. It's not going over. Thankfully, there's a few people that's running around trying to record all these stories. That would link Alex Haley to his past, was an oral version of passed down to what happened to his grandfather, Kunta Kinte, and certain words led him to the village. And actuality, you know, that's why he went, and the recorded oral record said that Kinte went into the woods because it was a celebration, some kind of boomer celebration, and he wanted to get a gift for his brother. And he went to look for a log to get a drum, and that's what they said in the oral tradition. He went into the woods to look for a log to make a drum, and that's where the slave catch him. And on the other side, it said Kinte went into the woods to look for the drum, and our prince was never seen again. So that's the connection. So oral literature, and then written is like civilizations that are gone, like the Latins, you know, or I guess Atlantis. Is there still a written language that we can look and read in the caves, on the wall? You see illustrations. In Egypt, you got the hieroglyphics. And I can go on forever, but it's to preserve the magic, the history. Today, our media, newspaper. You know, you can go back 100 years and get clippings from the 1800s. Get clippings from England when, you know, Jack the Ripper was doing his rampage. Actually get the newspaper that was written that day, and it seemed to bring you back. Plus, there's other avenues for it, like dessert, like the arts and the expression. You know, Shakespeare, you know, sonnets, you know, the creativity of that, or Amazon, you know, Mozart, symphonies, the beauty in the art of that creativity. And, you know, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, and, you know, words worth 1,000 pictures. You know, most people love to read books because they keep the imagination in their head. I can remember doing a video, and one man said, you know what, when the video started coming in, I kind of missed the old songs without the video. I said, why? Because I have my own imagination and interpretation. When I see a video, that kills that.
Yeah, so sort of along that topic, I understand you have an excerpt from one of your short stories or poems you'd like to read?
Sure. Which one you'd like to hear?
Whichever one's your favorite. I'll let you pick. You wrote it.
Okay. I have one on Michelle, but let me see. There's one on. I'll read Michelle. It's short.
Ah.
Yeah, I read something short. I don't need to read nothing. The book's called Unwavering Echoes, legacy, long-lasting, a short story and poetry. And where's Michelle? She's on 47. I wrote 2 poems, one for Michelle and one for Obama. They both went to the White House, and I received letters by Bob Graham because he hand carried them. We got a little connections when you up and all that. And he was the one back then when I did the King First Holiday, the seal of approval for Florida. And that poem got it through Bob Graham, so when he was governor. So we had a little connection. So he hand took it to her, and they sent me a really nice letter and said the poem's in the White House, and when they leave, would be in their library, their presidential library. So I titled her poem called America First, because she was the first out of 43 first ladies. She was the first one of lady of color, and that is America coming. That's America coming full circle to represent all the people that it is. And I titled it America First. Roses are red, violets are blue. The legend of the heavenly queen are true. Vestiges of her essence live through you. For your smile is too beautiful and your heart is too sweet. Even the ground is not worth enough to touch your feet. In Africa, your ancestors was warriors and queens. And in America, you are Langston Hughes, Negro mother, and M.A.K. dreams. Your adversaries cannot find in their hearts the truthfully tell that to your God, to your duty, to your family, to your country, to your people, you represent us well. And that is the truth that history would tell. In First Ladies, there were 43 others, but Michelle, Levanis, Robertson, Obama, you are America, First Lady of color.
That was great. That was really, that was...
You just saying that.
Oh, no. I really enjoyed it.
You did?
I did. I thought it was incredibly well written. I'm not much of a poet myself. I do a lot of creative writing, but I do like the way it sounded, the way it flowed. I felt it had a nice rhythmic balance, and I really enjoyed it. I felt like it's something that should get published.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And you should pursue your field of writing as well.
I plan to. So, yeah, thank you. But anyways, I believe that's all the time we have right now. Be sure to check out his book. You can get it on Amazon and Smashwords.
Amazon, Smashwords, Barnes & Noble, all the media publishing outlets. And if you don't remember the name, just remember Augusta Williams Jr. and drop it on Amazon, and everything will pop up. My website, my blog, the history, some of my other archives, other ventures I did, the radio shows. From 56 years, that's a little over half a century, so you can do a lot then.
All right, well, anyways, thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.